Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, April 4th. We're not getting anywhere very fast at all with the daily quests. And I didn't get the Tavern Brawl done, so I need to play Druid or Hunter on the Tavern Brawl. I was playing a lot of a Druid deck, a Hunter deck. I'll try a Druid deck. Keep it interesting. We still have the European account, so I think we might get to a post-game show today. Which is a shame because I've now officially hit the halfway point, it feels like, for Darksiders 2, and I wanted to play more of that and find sections of time. A lot of times I'll do a stream like this and then say, oh, I want to record more Darksiders 2, and then I'll watch TV for several hours and maybe even take a nap for several hours and then maybe start recording at 1 or 2 in the evening and not really accomplish too much. Or I'll start at 1 or 2 in the morning and go to 4 or 5, maybe even 6 in the morning recording for maybe 4 or 5 hours. That's one of the things that is slightly attractive about running your own YouTube job is that I don't want to have to work in long 8-hour plus shifts. Art is 90% sitting around and waiting for inspiration. I think somebody once said, and it just doesn't work that well for me because of, I don't know, how my own internal clock works and how insomnia works. I'm sure a lot of people just call me lazy, which, okay, if you want to call me lazy too, that might be fair enough. But the intention is to make footage. Whether or not the energy is there is often the case. But that's not very video game related, so let's move on. We have a story from Komatsu. Wonder Gravity pre-registration now available in Japan. Short. So Wonder Gravity, is this of the Gravity Rush series of games? I don't think so. It's a smartphone adventure RPG game, Wonder Gravity Piano, and the Gravity users. Users can pre-register through Line, email, or Twitter. What is Line? Let's see what that is. You know what this game looks exactly like a ripoff of? Is one called Tower of Saviors, I believe was the name of the game, that I played for about a year or two and then I lost my save file. So yeah, there was this game called Tower of Saviors that had a menu that looked exactly like this. This is a direct ripoff. But Sega apparently is involved in this, so I guess they're gonna get away with it. Line apparently is via QR code. Let's see, learn more about Line. Closing the distance. Free messenger whenever, wherever. So Line must be a new messaging service that's popular in Japan. Today I learned. Next story we have from Komatsu. God Eater Resonant Resonant Ops now available in Japan. Again, a smartphone RPG. Is this time from Bandai Namco? It's got a anime trailer to it, so let's see what that looks like. God Eater seems like it is just Monster Hunter for the most part, except for you're just fighting not guaranteed to be creatures that look like they're natural creatures, and instead you're fighting monsters. Again, two cell phone games back to back. Here's a crazy story from Eurogamer and their new horrible site. Man, that looks awful. a fan-made Seventh Guest sequel. Seventh Guest being a point-and-click full-motion video horror game that I believe there already was a sequel to Seventh Guest called the 13th Hour, or the 11th Hour. So this would have to be the third in the series, unless the Seventh Guest was the sequel to the 13th Hour, 11th Hour. It was a real crazy game. I do plan on covering it eventually, in just the retro crazy games that I cover. Let's go ahead and kill this one. I could have used my ability. Come to think of it, to attack. So this sequel called The 13th Doll is going to be released in October. It's officially licensed. Let's see. It's an officially licensed follow-up to the developer Trilobyte's classic CD-ROM adventure, The Seventh Guest. Anecdotal Production is a collection of self-proclaimed Seventh Guest fans that launched the 13th Doll Kickstarter back in 2005, where it successfully raised $60,000. I don't know about that, particularly when you're talking full motion video. Can you really get that done with such a small budget? It's designed as a direct follow-up to the 1993 title, considered to be one of the CD-ROM's format's earliest killer apps, alongside Myst, sidestepping the events of the device's 1995 sequel, The 11th Hour. So they're ignoring The 11th Hour. Let's look at this announcement trailer video and see how this looks. Well, it looks like CG to start off with. It looks a little bit more cartoony and a little bit more CG than the realistic art style that we're used to. Let's see. It seems like they've got actors to do the full motion video, so it really is going to look like a modern, a not actually that modernized take on it, on a new version. So it's going to feel very much like the Seventh Guest. They're not doing anything too crazy. Meanwhile, most big publishers would take something like The Seventh Guest and turn it into a why not turn it into, let's go ahead and play this and just hope this works. It does. Victory. Yeah. If this was THQ Nordic, they would have totally remastered The Seventh Guest and taken out the full motion video and made just a boring, standard, realistic graphics game. It would look something like a Machine for Pigs or a similar game like that. It might even be better looking than a Machine for Pigs. But to stick to the heart and the core of it takes a little bit more effort. Let's see. It seems like pre-orders for the 13th Doll are only on their websites. And it's going to have 26 unique puzzles and 35 environments, which is kind of a small number. We need 2 more victories with a druid or hunter. We were playing a lot of the Secret Beast. We need to try something different. So we'll try this as we're trying to get up ranked play too. So 26 puzzles, 35 environments, 2 playable characters, each with their own unique plot lines, locations, and puzzles, plus 5 possible endings. And the actor Robert Hirschbach Boeck reprises his role as Henry Stauff. I don't think I've ever actually played the Seventh Guest too, so it would be very interesting for me to play an old game to see about the new game. Let's see. I want to on their website see the pre-order. If you're gonna buy it, it seems like you have to buy it right now from Kickstarter. It doesn't seem like it's going to. It does seem like it will be on Steam eventually. In fact, it was a greenlit game. So, this was Greenlight is being retired for more information. So, yeah. Very, very interesting. I can't wait to see it, and I guess I should actually play. Moving on with the news, moving on with the game, getting very distracted. Oh wow, what a game name. Let's see, what a fake game name. This is we have a game here that will be taken off Steam almost certainly within the briefest amount of time. It is Babies on Fire : 99 Virgins. It's from a developer and a publisher who seem to be the same entity, because the developer is the same games. It looks like it's some very bad graphics, in which you're playing as firemen, bouncing up babies to get them into the ambulance on the side. This was an old Game & Watch game, actually. They've literally just stolen the concept of the Game & Watch game. And there's nothing inherently wrong with taking a simple old concept from a Game & Watch game and reprising it and putting better graphics than the LCD black and white graphics that would have been in the Game & Watch. The problem is, what do you call the name of it? It has 14 achievements, so it's not even trying to be an achievement game. It's 40% off for 59 cents. It's just here to be a fake game, just to troll, like features possibility to feel like a real hero, save children from a burning building. Like, this is just trying to insult people though and be offensive by the name. The name is really the only thing too. Let's see, just this is little okay. In the description it says 2 brave fighters, brothers Mahmed and Mahmoud, came to the challenge. Every daily routine, live in a quiet city in which nothing ever happens, but this time the alarm bells at the fire station. What's there? The hospital maternity ward is on fire? Oh, you gotta play the game. Sorry to those who actually want to see me play Hearthstone. All you can do is save all the children in this hospital. All you know is there are 99 virgin babies there. Like real heroes, you grab the rescue trampoline and with it, take the children to the ambulance. So the good news is that the flag button on Steam does allow offensive and contains content that is potentially offending and intended to shock or disgust viewers. It also has a speech for hate speech, and I think it qualifies probably for both of those, but you can only pick one, so I'm going to say offensive and flag this game. And let's get these video game asset flipper trolls off. There's only been one all-time peak player on this game, by the way. Do not buy that. That doesn't help the video game industry. It doesn't do anything for anybody. It just delegitimizes the art form and makes every argument about video games not being art feel more valid. We gotta have standards, people. Gotta have standards. If you want to do an offensive joke, try and put it on your own website or itch.io. Don't put it on a real store. Your next story we have from Your Gamer, Square Enix will start fixing the disappointing Chrono Trigger PC port. First update will reinstate the original graphics style. Square Enix has announced that it will release the first of several updates in the widely lambasted Chrono Trigger PC port later this month in a bid to address fan concerns. There was much delight when they launched a port of the game, but to their dismay, people found that the PC port was a wonky port from the mobile edition and not the like an emulator running the original Super NES game. And people were very, very disappointed with Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana, both of which came out at the same time. And so I'd hope that the Secret of Mana remaster release would do a similar thing. Like, let's see. There's a wonky port of the recent mobile editions for iOS and Android, which in turn was a port of the DS port for the Super NES game. Steam users soon discovered numerous issues with the PC versions, including intrusive pseudo-touch interface, stuttering, and no option to remove the ugly sprite softening filters. So they're saying they're working on addressing your issues, and they're claiming that they're going to fix things, but I do have to take it with a grain of salt, because they may, like, they've already done one half-hearted job of porting this to PC and just to make money. Now coming back and saying they're going to fix it, I wouldn't be surprised if they do another half-hearted job and don't address enough concerns to make it really really something that people want to play. So we've got another game on Steam called Amaze Frozen, which it's an asset flip from a known asset flipper, Blender Games, and he has made so many versions of the exact same game. It has 150 achievements. It's 25% off for 74 cents. You could buy the entire bundle for $10.44. Or maybe the entire bundle for $11.77. There's so many bundles here. They're real garbage, real garbage games that don't deserve to be on Steam. They're not good enough quality. Maybe it would be alright if it was just an itch.io game, but let's see, there's only one review that's suspiciously positive. This came out April 4th. Yeah, if you see any games, there's even a decent chance you have seen an Amaze game on Steam, because I was definitely seeing Amaze games just lowercase a, all caps MAZE. I was seeing them on Steam before I started looking at every single game that was coming out. And boy, do they look similar. Let's see, next game we have is Paper Shakespeare, to date or not to date. Let's see, is this the only game from this developer? No. They have a bunch of really crazy dating simulator visual novel things that they are selling with bad graphics style. Like, looks like it's drawn in marker. Looks like it lacks the skill. It's the type of animation you'd expect from a high schooler, not a professional artist. What else can I say about this game? Probably nothing. An all-time user high of 1. There's no discount, and it is $8.99. You can buy everything they've made for apparently $2 and $25.61. No reviews. There's no surprise that there are no reviews, because this is a not visually appealing game for a very high price. Which, more and more I think about it, that is all Steam needs to do. Is just have somebody look at all the pictures, have in their mind what is not visually appealing, and leave those on the cutting room floor and say, these games don't pass our level of visual quality to be sold on our store. That's going to fix most things, and then let them appeal, and then look at it a little bit harder. Now, the next game I have is a game called Ria's Hook. RIA''S Hook. It's the first game from this developer. It's 20% off for $2.39. And it's black and white and paper craftish. It's got squiggly lines, which I assume the squiggly lines are not as intentional as much as the animator is lacking a little bit of skill. However, this looks like it's an actual, at least swinging physics simulator type game. It looks like somebody may have taken a few examples from programming and put their own art on top of it to make a real game. It has an all-time peak of 2, which is double the all-time peak that we see for most games that come out, which is kind of a sad statement to say that way, but it really is the truth. Trigger, and attack. And so this might be a game where it might sort of deserve to be allowed on Steam. Let's see. But again, it might also just be a bad unfinished product too. About the game, it says, note, this game is very difficult and does not take responsibility for mental suffering. Ria's Hook is about an unhappy but bright girl who lost her home and family in an unidentified storm. On one day she finally got a chance to figure out the identity of the storm. Only we can help her identify the bad storm. Cross obstacles and climb the hills of suffering with dirty sensitivity. Shoot the hooks and climb up the mountains to reach the top of the rainy hill. The game will tell players the way to go, but you won't cross it easily. This seems like it's translated from a different language. The more we do, the more we can feel your skills going up. So it's probably an unfinished game. It would be my guess that somebody started and then abandoned and said, look, this just doesn't play right. Let's get some money out of it. The price is too high. I think you could easily have somebody at Steam look at all games and say, look, you want $2.39 for this game. You're retailing this at $3 by default. This is not a $3 game. This does not pass our quality standards for a $3 game. It would pass our standards for maybe a 60-cent game, but not a $3 game. And that's an odd conversation to have, but you've got to have some kind of standards. There's plenty of companies like Walmart and such that literally won't sell a product unless it's a certain price, either higher than what they might want to sell it as or lower than what they might want to sell it as. Walmart, I believe, has many non-compete agreements where, like, things like razor blades probably cost the same at every grocery store for that reason. It's not so much a free market as you might believe in the United States. There are ways to collude and price rig, and even though it's illegal, it's often done and easy enough to figure a way to not get caught. There's a game called the Mahjong coming to Switch, as well as Escape Trick 35 Fate Enigma's physical edition has been announced for Japan. So D3 Publishers Mahjong game is coming to yet another platform. I'm not sure if it's going to come to... Let's see. We're going to have to kill some people. Well, it doesn't matter what we kill, we're still dead. Should have just ended my turn. It says The Mahjong is a Mahjong game that was first launched for the PlayStation in 1998. It has since been updated and re-released for many platforms, including the PS2, the DS, the Wii, the PlayStation 3, PSP, and the 3DS, and the PlayStation 4. The physical edition of Escape Trick 35 Fateful Enigmas will cost 2,800 yen. Let's see, the Mahjong will be available physical and digital versions. Yeah, I don't think though it's gonna come to the West, or if it does come to the West, it'll probably just come to the West digitally. Didn't seem like that worked. So let's see if we can find a druid. Is this custom druid? We're playing ranked. Ranked is taking forever. We have another game called Ghostly Horizon from Ghostly Horizon Dev for $4.99, no discount. The publisher is labeled as self-publishing, which, why they let people do that seems insane. If that's not what you do, you write your name a second time. You don't write self-publishing. So people are filling out forms for Steam Direct, and clearly these forms are not even being looked at by a human. And they're being filled out by people who clearly don't even have enough skill to fill out the form. That's one of the things about applying for a job, is that they have you jump through all these hoops and fill out forms and applications just to see if you can and are willing to do something really dumb and fill out forms and applications. Because if you can't follow those instructions, you probably can't follow any other instructions. So Ghostly Horizon looks like it's an early access. Might just all be asset flips for all I can tell. It seems like it has a little bit of artistic consistency, but not that interesting of an artistic design in the first place. I have no idea what it is. It has an all-time peak of 6 players. Early access for $5. Are there any reviews at all? Let's see. There's one positive review. destroy that. And draw a new card. And then end the turn. Seems like you run around an island and you cast spells and fight each other is what you do. But the graphics don't really look like they even would match that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see why anybody would want to play this game. There's that Quake game that you could be playing. There's Overwatch that you could be playing. There's so many other things you could do. And instead of risking your money on this game that will not be a finished product almost certainly, and won't be a popular product almost certainly, it's way too... It shouldn't be early access at all and be on Steam. Not in its current shape. Moving on, we have a Episcava, EPISICAV Volume 1. No reviews. It's from somebody who's released one other game. It's 15% off for $8.49. Let's see. This and do this. Let's see. So this is a indie violent with nudity casual simulation visual novel. I mean, I can just tell by the artistic style that it's a visual novel. And while it does attempt to ape the anime style, it again looks like a high schooler, or maybe you would even say a second year college, halfway towards a bachelor's degree artist. There's skill in the animation, certainly, but not quite enough. There's every screenshot I'm seeing, which should be a standout, amazing looking image, is slightly below par. People need to have standards. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Yep. So all-time peak of 2 people. I don't see any reason why you'd want to play this. Like, even if you are just a person who loves stories and you only play visual novels because you've read every book that's available to you, which would be really unbelievable, you shouldn't play this game. It's saying it's volume 1, so no guarantee. Well, a guarantee that it's not going to be a finished story in the first place. The graphics aren't going to add any much. The audio's not going to add much. And you're going to find the writing in visual novels in general are just worse than even some of the worst books you find. Like, I don't get why visual novels are so popular in Japan. I imagine it's because really the only ones that are popular are the dating simulator ones, and everything else just kind of gets swept up by the hype of that. But they certainly aren't popular in the West, and they don't really have any potential to be that popular. Mass Effect is, I guess, a good example of something that almost got close to a visual novel, but it had to have a lot of first-person shooting to be acceptable. And Mass Effect didn't succeed that well either in the long run. Next game we have is called The Day Online. It's a MOBA. It came out April 3rd, and it's already at 51% of 121 user reviews, giving it a positive review, making it mixed. It's from Reloaded Studios, which this is their only game they've made. It's free to play. I don't see any reason why you would want to play this game. If you're going to play a MOBA game, why not play a big popular one? It's multiplayer only. It does, interestingly, have 417 all-time peak players, so it has something there as an early access free-to-play game. Let's look at some of the criticisms of the negative reviews. Let's see. Can we get a nice short review? Here we go. Very bad game. Aside from the obvious copy of other MOBAs when it comes to champions, I don't mind it. The game has very bad matchmaking system and some bad lobby thing that there's not many players, but the players that are there aren't even playing. I spent almost 20 minutes just trying to enter the game. The game itself in match is just bad. The minions are inconsistent and don't make any sense. The turrets are bland and you can basically solo them if you don't hit them. If they don't get hit by themselves. Yes, it's 3D, so you can avoid their shots. I'm just gonna go ahead and concede to save some time here. Give up. It's time to give up. So yeah, why play a MOBA game from an unknown company? Even though I would say the Day Online's graphics do look good. Like, it looks like it could have been an interesting game had there been enough of a company like Activision Blizzard behind it, or Valve, to fund the matchmaking, keep it going, put the advertisement there. That's the thing that makes Overwatch successful. It's just the support and the advertising and the updates. And that's what you're not going to get here. Is if you get big into the Day Online, you'll probably find that it has no updates for 6 months. Speaking of no updates, we're not getting anywhere here. Let's move over now to the in between this recording and the next. Let's move over to the European account, because we're not getting anywhere at all. And I'm now at the point where I'm afraid I'm not even going to have one daily quest done before I hit the point where I start to get some other daily quests. This has been not the greatest experience trying to get victories, and that's exactly the experience we had last month too. Trying to play ranked, even at rank 24 now, has gotten incredibly difficult. And I'm not 100% sure why that is the case. We're just not succeeding, and that's annoying. It's always been annoying in Hearthstone, and it's just getting worse. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. If you want to support me even further, gift me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.